And the reason it's really important for us to create these ideas during springtime is because if you're in that great season of joy and you're thinking, now I'm going to do this and that, by the time you're in this fullness of spirit in summer and you bring it into fall when it's a natural tendency to go within, and then there comes the winter, you don't necessarily have that much energy and enthusiasm throughout the year. So rethink what it is that you want to do. In the wintertime, when you go within, is it my relationship? Is it that I want to get healthier? Do I want to become a vegetarian? Are there projects that I want to complete? So that when you get into the energy of spring, you can spring them forth in motion. Okay. So what does that mean for you? How many are journalists, or journal here in this, not journalists, but how many journal? Okay, so that's good. How many are aware of the law of attraction? Okay, where you really put into motion the vibration, the feeling, the visual. You might even create storyboards for what it is you want to manifest in your life. Does anybody do any of that? Oh my gosh, that's so great. Another way to do it is have a box and you put all of the things that you want in a box. Maybe you'll keep a certain journal for dreams in this box. And at least you're accountable for what your dreams and your visions are. But even if you're not in a place where you really know and you're really clear about where it is you want to go, this is insight into how you can utilize what happens with the earth with each of the seasons. The thing I like about that is that if I am feeling off balance, I can check back with Chinese 5-element theory. I can check back with, the tribal way of living close to the earth. Even though, we all live so that we can work 24/7 if we want to. We don't need to hibernate. We don't need to do any of that anymore. But because our bodies come from nature, we have to honor the fact that there is something going on out there during these season changes, and that we have to at least acknowledge them, okay? And so for this springing forward, this spirit of renewal, everyone deserves to have this. Everyone deserves to have this love. Everyone deserves to have this energy in their life. And so if you think, well, I'm not prepared, that doesn't matter. Because if you plant the seed now, in this spring, you don't know if it's going to grow to manifestation by summer or if it just lingers there so that when you go within, you actually, during the winter months, will have a sequence and an outline and a pattern for a year from now. So my encouragement to you is to take the spirit of each season. See if you can Google a little bit on Chinese 5-element theories so that you can learn the different parts that go with each one of the seasons. There's a lot, and I was doing a cram course just to try to remember all the stuff I learned 10 years ago. But the honoring of springing forward and this birth of renewal does really exist in this season of spring. I wanted to pull something fun and talk about this because I think this is really, it's very fun. If I can find it. Oh, okay, there we go. It's very strange how all of these things come to be and they stay and we think they are gospel, that this is the day that Christ was on the cross and this is the day that, Passover happened. It just happens to be whatever the calendar is, but let's talk a little bit about some of the things that we see in springtime when it comes to Easter. Okay, the Easter rabbit and the eggs, symbols of the Norse goddess Ostara. They were the hare and the egg. Those were her symbols. Both represented fertility. From these, we have inherited the customs and symbols of the Easter egg and the Easter rabbit. Dyed eggs are formed part of rituals of the ancient pre-Christian Babylonian mystery religions. Okay? The egg is the symbol of fertility, of renewed life that goes back to ancient Egyptians and Persians. Also the custom of coloring and eating eggs during their spring festival. Interesting. Like the Easter egg, the Easter hare came to Christianity from antiquity. It's associated with the moon in the legends in ancient Egypt and other peoples, and through the fact that the Egyptian word for hair, means open, and the hair came to be associated with the idea of curiosity, lunar and human, and the beginning of a new life in both young men and young women. So the symbol of fertility and renewal of life, such as the hair, became linked with Easter and eggs. Let me see. Listen to this. Christian tradition states that when Mary Magdalene visited Emperor Tiberius, she gave him a red egg as a symbol of resurrection and a symbol of new life. Very interesting. When my dad died, I was about 14 years old. I was 14 years old. He was a very young man. He was 48 when he passed away, and 46 when he got sick. And for a long time after he passed away, I would have dreams of him still alive and them closing the casket on him. And as a young girl, I was very afraid of those dreams. And I had two younger brothers at home, and my older brother and sister were just getting out of the house. And I had these nightmares for so long, but they were so vivid, so long for a young girl. April until August. In August, I had this dream about my dad. And he came to me, and it was very vivid. And in that dream, we began, interestingly enough, with the season fall. And I said, but Dad, I was out of this house, and it was where all of my family lived, even my siblings who weren't home as much anymore. And my mom was there, but the house was different. And if I just stepped right out of the house, it was pure nature and vegetation. So, Dad comes in, and he goes, Dad, but I thought you were gone. I thought you were, I don't remember if I said that or not. I thought you were gone. And so he said to me, oh, well, I was getting sicker, and so I didn't want to burden all of you. So we started to walk as he was telling me this, and we were out into the season of fall, where leaves were starting to die symbolically, And as he continued with his story, he said to me, and I just wanted to be, it represented death, because it was charred and cold, and he just said, I realized that I had to go. I had to go. But I want you to know I have new life. And as we went, and he said that to me, it was springtime in this forest, and there were brand new buds, and there was springtime everywhere. And essentially the last one we came to was a hazy field with the sun shining on it, and he goes, and I have new life. And as I think about that as a 14-year-old girl, my dad and I walked through the seasons of his life, and he told me he was in heaven. And all the time I never saw his face, and I never heard his voice. But his essence was there, and he told me he was okay. So in many ways, symbolically, we follow the seasons of life. And now this is the season of spring. And I wish for you renewal. I wish for you new information. I wish for you springing forward with some of the ideas that you just can see in your mind. And I wish for you a season of joy when it comes to summer with all of these things made manifest. Honor your spirit. Spring forward with all of these things that you desire. Be clear, be conscious, write them down, know what it is, be careful of leaking your energy, create that china plate with stickers on them if you have to. I think I can do that, by the way. And if you have any more questions about this, do yourself a favor and surf. Get on the internet, have somebody do it for you if you're not internet savvy. Check out Chinese medicine. Check out Kent Thompson, because she has classes as well that really, if you haven't had a clear, concise way of moving on into your life the way you thought you would, she's got ways that will really, really help you. And I know I tell other people because they've made such a great influence on me. So Emotional Technologies, Kat Thompson, I think you really enjoy her work too. But this is the time of joy, rebirth, fertility, happiness. Let's spring forward in the spirit of renewal. Spring. Spring is here. Why will my heart go dancing? It's up to you. spring forward. God bless. Thank you. You know, my mom always said, write that story down. And I said, I don't have to, I'll never forget it. So, no, seriously. And the cool thing is my mother never shamed me. Oh, that's not it. No, I didn't dream that. She went, oh, really? I mean, she was so open and wonderful about it that she accepted the fact that I had this fantastic dream. Which, anybody a big dreamer here? Yeah, two. Where you wake up and that person was just right with you. It's like, wait, I didn't want to.
Them that's got you in, them that's not shall lose. For the Bible says, and it's in His news, Mama might have, Papa might have. God bless the child that's got his own, that's got his own. Oh